Well, welcome everyone to the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Konrad here.
Hilton.
George.
Kirk.
Dad, welcome back.
Thank you.
In the other podcast, we sang and wished my dad a happy birthday, so you'll have to watch that one where we talked about peptides.
Yes.
But today is my dad's birthday. If you haven't watched that episode, happy birthday, Dad.
Thank you, Konrad.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And today we're talking about the impacts of sports and fitness on pretty much anyone at any particular age,
Yeah, absolutely.
and how it develops and can change your mindset and just have a positive, in my opinion, a very positive impact.
It's very inspiring for me to see you, because you always look back our legacy and also to the future and the impact you left in your whole family, Kirk, So, and how do you see from your eyes, your grandson and your daughter too, of course, she's younger, but how do you see that affecting him, and also how you see him, your son, right, dedicated also to sports and being part of Lucas's life? How does it socially connect? I mean, there's so many angles to do that.
Right.
Feel free, the microphone yours.
Well, sports and boys kind of go together, or used to anyway. Now I think they spend a lot of time sitting in front of a computer, where before we used to be outside playing, and we were, playing everything. So, and it's good to see. I think that's kind of returning. Even I'd like to see more diversification. These kids kind of just specialize in one thing, and that's fine. That's good. If you're good in baseball, be a baseball player, but also, do some wrestling. Try gymnastics. Try other things. It'll all help you be a better
abilities. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it'll help you be a better all-around athlete. And maybe you'll find something else that appeals to you.
True.
But go ahead, George.
No, you go ahead, please.
But I was real heavy into sports. I did a lot of sport, everything. And I was telling Juju when I was in junior high, you had to letter in 3 different sports. You had to be on the varsity team for 3 different sports to get a letter. To get your letter.
3 sports?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can't play only one very well.
No. So I did football, basketball, and baseball one year. And then I did football, wrestling, and track the second year.
Ooh.
Got my letters. Then I get into high school, and I see the letters, but I see all these patches. So I asked them, what is all these little patches? Well, you get your letter. You got to be on the varsity team on one sport.
Right.
And then when you do your other sports, you get your letter. I said, you get a letter with just one sport? I said, oh, this is easy. This is nice, man. I got it. So, but the mindset was just to do everything and to be good at it and just to have fun. Bottom line, it's got to be fun. You got to have fun at what you're doing. You've got to be happy. Yeah, if you've got a kid we'll use Lucas, for example, my grandson. If he doesn't like to play baseball and we're dragging him to baseball, it's just no good. It's no good for everybody.
Yeah.
And for a while, it was almost like that. I kept telling Lucas, just go out and have fun. I just want to see an effort, because he just wasn't putting. Now he is. So it's like, and it was nice. Konrad kept taking him to, we're going to go do our baseball. Kept putting him out there, and now he's showing an interest. And that's the beauty of it to me. I don't care how good you are. I just want you to go out and have fun, play your hardest, play, do the best that you can for your team. That's what it's about. That's the learning experience. Because none of those kids are going to be professionals. Maybe one out of the thousands that are out there going to be professional. But you're all going to be dads, and you're all going to be humans. You're all going to be professionals at your job. So that the lessons that you learn on sticking with it and trying your hardest and just, enjoying where you are at the moment, that'll stay with you. That's what you bring forward.
not to mention the culture, not to mention, like your peers are also working hard. You're developing grit.
Yeah.
You're developing, you're smarting up.
Well,
Okay, right? Because we attribute intelligence only to intellectual.
Right.
But think about how sports also provide a different type of intelligence, how to react, how to adapt, how to adjust, how to deal with grief, how to deal with defeat, how to accept that you can't win all the time. It prepares you for life.
that's exactly right, George. And that's the beauty of it. Because the upbringing now, where everybody gets a trophy, everybody wins, we don't keep score, that's not how it is, man. And then when the reality hits, you can't deal with it. You're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
You're not prepared to lose. It's like, wait a minute, where's my trophy? It's like, oh, no, you don't get a trophy. You didn't win. We just went through that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, those days are gone. And it's a shock. So it's a for men, especially for boys, because this is our experience. I don't know girls, but this is how you develop into a man. You learn to lose because you aren't going to win all the time. You're going to win very seldom, and when you do, you have to savor those moments.
We don't let also the kids fail.
No, they need to fail.
We don't let them.
You have to.
Like people now we don't let them because they have to. There is a lot in the healing process because it's all a defeat is a healing process, right? So we learn how our body reacts. We learn, okay, so if I can't beat this guy this way, how can I? It forces you to be innovative, to be more inventive, to talk to the coaches, to give you voice. Hey, coach, I spend the whole night thinking about that. I have some ideas. Is it right? And then the coach will have the chance. And no. I appreciate that you are bringing ideas. This won't work, but I appreciate that. But at least the kid will have the opportunity to think about how to improve.
Well, he's involved in his life now. Yeah, absolutely. I wake up every day, George, and this is the honest God truth. I wake up every day, and I say, first thing, this is the best day ever. That is my mantra. I mean, I'm aching. I hurt. I know there's stuff going on in my life. But no, man, this is the best day ever. And I try to keep it that way, And I think, a lot of it I attribute to just being active in sports all my life, or as much as my life as I could. Konrad's the one that got me back into bodybuilding, which was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
When did it happen?
So, I think I've told this story. So, growing up, I was a little bit heavier. And when we lived in California, we lived at a house that had a big, steep driveway to get out. And this is the long version of the story. But basically, our next-door neighbor kid, Glenn, came over, and we were going to go for a bike ride. Mm-hmm. And this is after that Christmas that I had gotten that mountain bike.
Okay.
So I still have this mountain bike that I got from Christmas, from Santa Claus, and to this day it's still one of the best bikes ever. I love that mountain bike.
It's 30 years old.
Yeah, but still rocks like a champ. He came over on a BMX bike, just a skinny neighbor kid, and he goes, "Let's go for a bike ride, summertime," and I go, "You're gonna be riding this one-speed BMX bike? Whatever. All right, dude." And he gets up and he just takes off and goes up my driveway. And I'm on my new mountain bike that had all of these gears. And I got up halfway up the driveway before I had to get off and push my bike up the rest of the way. And that was the turning point in my life. So when I got up to the top, I hopped on and we went down these hills. And then we had some big hills that we had to go back up. And of course, Glenn, on his one-speed BMX bike, no weight to him, just takes up and goes up all these hills. And I had to get off my bike and push. And it wasn't that long of a ride, probably about 2 miles or so. We just did a loop around. But where we lived in California, it's all just hills, all hills and mountains. And I remember getting home.
What city was it?
Grass Valley.
Which is north, Baja California, Central California, High California.
Halfway between Sacramento and Reno,
Right.
up in the foothills.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, halfway in there.
West, east.
Yes.
Yes, east. So, and I remember
I would drive there next year.
Oh, you'll love it.
You'll love it.
I would go to Sequoia Park, Joshua Tree. Then you're gonna go up all to Sequoia. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go up to Sacramento or up there, but we're gonna go all there. New Mexico.
Well, if you head over to Yosemite, you go up
Yes.
Highway 49. That's where we're from.
All right.
That's
Okay.
where-
Got it.
north,
that's
north
where
of
we live.
Yosemite.
Because I'm studying
North
right
of
now how to
Yosemite.
go there, because my wife and I, we decided that we want to learn travel in the US.
Good.
So we travel to Nashville, to Sarasota by car, to Yellowstone by car. We have a trip to Chicago and a trip by car and a trip to California by car. So
That'll be fun.
I don't want to be about me, but just
No, that's cool.
But we got home, and I was just exhausted and pissed off. And it was that moment of defeat that I just couldn't let out of my head that Glenn beat me on his one-speed BMX bike.
But you could have thought, like I'm not gonna do. I'm not. You see,
you
I'm not
could've
good.
thrown
I'm
the
not
bike
good
down.
enough. But I can even see that a little bit of the seed from your father. Like Dad is always doing that. Like maybe unconsciously, that came to you. Then you say, I will overcome that. That's
Well,
a great day.
So
he might be on you too.
So, and that was it. It was my dad was working so much at the store, he wasn't going to the gym. But I always see my dad's trophies and the pictures of his bodybuilding and stuff like that, and in shape. And it was one of those things where it's like, all right, let's take this a little bit serious. And I got up on my mountain bike the next day, and I was able to get up my driveway, but I still had to walk up some of the mountains. And I rode that bike every single day for that summer up all of these mountains. And then I started going up these different roads where, it's just straight up and down, like just steep hills. And I remember I got up halfway, and around the corner, there's even a steeper part. And I got off my bike and I pushed my bike up to the top of that hill. And then the next day I went back and I got halfway up that hill. And then the next day I came back and I got up a little bit further. And finally, it took me about 2 weeks when I finally rode all the way up this hill, and the amount of accomplishment that I had, that I pushed myself to that level.
Jordan said that it's only a defeat if you give up.
And that was it.
That's for sure, too. That's exactly right.
And look, if you tell me only the story and you put a full stop in there, that would look like a defeat. But then you said it took me 2 weeks to go there every single day.
Every day.
You're not even but you're developing a strategy. You're developing. You're planning. You're adjusting. You're forcing yourself to.
I ended
go
up
up,
having that drive. I ended up having that drive in that. Go ahead, Dad.
Well, I was going to say, before I lose my train of thought,
Yes.
this happens when you get old. I told Lucas one time, because he was upset about losing, I said, Lucas, no. I said, in all the games I played, I said, we never once lost. I said, we just ran out of time. I said, but we were ready. We were right there. We were going to get them. So you did not lose. You just ran out of time. Next time, play a little faster, play a little harder, so that when the time is over, you're on the winning side, not the losing side.
Yeah.
Survive. Look, this year, yesterday or 2 days ago, we had a situation. A Brazilian is like a favorite fan now. Brazilian is 28th in the ATP ranking tennis.
Oh, okay.
He was playing against the GOAT for some, which is Djokovic, right? Which is number one, won the most Grand Slam. So the game was 2-0 to Djokovic. The Brazilian is 19 years old. He was losing 2-0. He was losing the third set. Mm-hmm. He would lose the game, right?
Right.
And then the heat hit. And Djoko lost the third.
Used to that.
He lost the third, he lost the fourth, and the Brazilian beat him. And then I asked him, like, what happened? I noticed that he was getting hot. I was feeling. I told myself, if that's hitting me, imagine how I saw that he was tired.
Sure.
And then that gave me. So I survived. He says I survived, and that gave me enough to keep going.
Yeah.
That's
It took 5 hours and 39 seconds, 39 minutes. I don't know. I might be wrong, but it's more than 5 hours. So what I'm saying is that
you just keep swinging. You keep
Yeah.
swinging.
he stay alive.
You
keep alive.
swinging.
You don't know if if it's a sports team. You don't know if the best guy will lose his stamina. If the guy is going to get injured or something else is going to happen.
And
Stay
that's
alive.
Exactly what I told Lucas one time. He comes off the field. Grandpa, I'm so hot. I said, Lucas, everyone's hot. Just keep playing. You just dig in. This is what you have to do. This is what separates a guy that's just playing from a guy that's winning, a champion. But this is what needs to be instilled and installed in all of us. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep cranking. Get up in the morning. Say, this is the best day ever. Even though you're messed up.
And when my alarm goes off, and there's days where it's like that alarm goes off, and I'm like, I do not want to get up and go.
Yeah.
And I know that was what you felt, when you were competing, but there has to be, it was different when I was in the military because there was almost this need to prove myself and a need to make sure that if I'm there, I need to hold someone else accountable because when there's a collective suffering and we're all suffering, it's almost like, hey, shit sucks, I get it, but we're all in it together type of mentality. But when you're by yourself, that's a little bit different, and it is a lot easier to hit the snooze button on the alarm clock and be like, you know what, I'm not going to do it today. But that dedication, that drive.
You got to have an inner drive. Konrad, I would come home. This is when I lived in California and I was competing. I would come home, literally beat up because I'd been in fights at work.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and I'd get a couple hours sleep. I'd usually get home about midnight. Thank you, George. I'd get up at 4 to meet my training partner at 5 and hit the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm dragging in, I'm beat up.
Yeah.
I'm sore.
Yeah.
I've just been in a couple fights that night. So, and that was more than once. But you've got to have that drive.
Yeah.
You've got to, it's got to be part of your nature. And I think it happens when you're doing sports, when you're doing team sports, and you can't let down the team. You have to be at your best. If an individual sport, I can slack off.
And that's
I wanna
please.
I wanna hear the rest of the story. So and then you accomplished, and then probably you would have had a conversation with your dad after that. So I wanna hear the rest of the story.
So, but no, there wasn't a conversation. I just kept going.
Well, here's the deal. Konrad started lifting weights downstairs, and because he knew I used to lift weights. This is what we did, bodybuilding. So he's down there lifting weights, and Dad, come on and lift weights with me. And I kept telling him no, because up until then, every time he would do something, he'd do it for a few weeks or whatever and then quit. And it's like, no, I don't want to get in that mindset because I know the dedication involved when you do this. You got to be dedicated. So
You got to earn it.
Yeah. So I'm watching him, and I'd go down and spot him. He'd say, Dad, can you spot him? Of course I'll spot you,
Or give me pointer, like he would
give
show
him pointers,
me.
put your hands here, or
Emotional
whatever.
intelligence there.
But Konrad was doing it. And I told the wife, I said, no. I said, let's just see how long this lasts. And after a few months, he's still doing it. And I said, okay, that does it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So I did go down, and we worked out a few times together.
Yeah.
And I said, no, we're going to join the gym. And all of us are going to go. So all the kids went to the gym. That's how they all got started. We went to the gym. They were being homeschooled at the time, so we got a PE credit. They'd do their schoolwork or whatever in the morning, hop in the car, we'd go up to the gym, do our workouts. That was part of the daily deal.
Yeah.
But he's the one that got me back into it. If you're going to do it, we're going to do it right. This is how it's going to be done.
Yeah.
You earned it.
He earned it.
You were rewarded.
He did earn it.
Yeah. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
It's part of the. Because if you think it's just going there and do, for example, how many times that you overdid or you underdid? You made your own mistakes, like especially in the beginning, right?
Yes.
So probably he did it too. During that process, he probably did a lot of wrong things, and then when you compare to what your dad were doing, you also improved it, But it hurt.
Yeah. Well, when we went to the gym, he and I worked out together for about 6 months. It was quite a while. He was my training partner. We trained together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Curdy wanted to train with me, so it's like, okay, Curdy. So now Curdy became my training partner. Konrad was doing his thing. And then the daughter wanted to, so then she became. So all three of them got to train with me for, several months and got to understand, what you do, how you do it, how you put together a workout. It's not like you just go in and you start lifting weights. There's a progression. There's a, like there is with everything.
Yes.
There's a layout. There's a plan. You go in and you do this and this and this and this, and this is how you do it.
This is how we do it.
This is how
you do it.
I love that story. It's a great, great, great story.
Yeah.
Great accomplishment, desire, frustration, semi-defeat. There's everything in there.
It's the all-American story.
Yeah, I love that story.
Can we continue this topic and explore more next?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could point it out. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more of this. We'll talk to you all later. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, subscribe, comment,
follow us.
Follow us on Spotify.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Let us know what you think and what else subjects we can talk about.
Thank you.